About a week away from opening day all the way out west in Forest Grove, Oregon, I am joined by the one and only head coach of MSOE baseball, Adrian Santiago. Coach, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Coach, I don't want to dwell on the past too much, so I'll phrase it this way. Would you have ever guessed that you would have won the conference title in your first crack as a head coach? And to follow that up, is it both a blessing and a curse in a way, because that's immediately the expectation that you have to match now in a way?
I would definitely say it's more of a blessing. I mean, we came in last year with all the intentions to win conference at a bare minimum. Our goal was to raise the bar. Obviously, in previous years, they had won the tournament, won the regular season, but never both combined, and had been to a regional but never won a game. So our goal was, I mean, we were talking about the World Series the moment we walked through the door.
Sure.
And I think we always tell our guys it's only crazy to people until you make it happen. So I would definitely say not a curse at all. I think the bare minimum is a conference championship, and we have bigger aspirations, and these guys now know it and know it's possible.
For sure, and it's interesting to talk about that because the only real time I got to spend with your team last year was in Florida. Yeah. And I think that kind of proved that you don't need to necessarily have a strong start in terms of wins and losses to accomplish what you want to during the regular season. What do you need to see in these early weeks of the season when it's not conference play, but you still got to figure out who you are?
Yeah, I mean, this year's going to be a lot different. We have a lot more depth, a lot of battles at multiple positions this year. So I think competition is a great thing. We're going to see a lot of different lineups throughout these 14 games that we play in these first 4 weeks of the season. But I think it's about finding our identity and who we are as a baseball team this year. You know, last year we led the country in stolen bases, and that was our identity and was in large part why we won as many games as we did last year. I think this year we're going to be more offensive and hopefully pitch it a little bit better. But we'll see, right? We're expecting some young guys to step up, but we return a good core of returning players. So we're excited. We're excited.
Threw me a few alley-oops there for the segue here. I'll take it this way without tipping too many pitches, to pardon the pun. What's the identity of this team ideally going to be going into this new season? I mean, is it still stealing bases and being demons on the base paths? Or are we looking to maybe refine that a little bit more?
We're hoping to slug a little bit more, but we're always going to steal bases, right? I think the biggest thing that'll never change for this program as long as I'm here is we want to make the other team never have a second to breathe. We want them to be uncomfortable at all times and be on edge and never feel at ease. So whatever way we got to do that, whether that's stealing bases, bunting, hopefully a lot of it comes from the pitching side and putting pressure on that side. We just want to make sure our opponent's never comfortable.
For sure. And do you see a lot of that, coming out of practice? Because to put pressure on your opponents, you have to practice putting pressure on your opponents. And the only way to do that is to put pressure on your teammates in practice. Do you feel like that's a double-edged sword where we're trying to get better at this while also getting better the other way at the same time? Yeah,
it's definitely something that's pretty tough to manage sometimes. Our guys are trying to compete not just with themselves but with their teammates in a healthy manner. But being able to practice over at the Sticks facility, that's a full turf infield, and be able to get full live game reps and stuff has been a blessing. It makes us be able to practice just about every scenario that's going to come up in a game, and our guys are ready to go, man. I mean, it's been exciting. They're outside. You can see them on the soccer field right now, getting some fly balls and stuff. So we're itching to get outside and get going.
All right, Coach. Let's get some random ones in here. When does game day drip cross the line? Like, can you ever have too many Evo shields, too many chains? Does it directly correlate to how good you are as a player? And it's like the better you are, the more you can get away with? Personally, to you, where's that line, if there is one?
To me, I mean, I think you got to be confident. I was that guy. I had a red glove with a yellow uniform, so I definitely towed the line a little bit. But I want our guys to feel confident in whatever it is. Now, there's definitely a little too much. If you have all the chains, the unbuttoned jersey down to the stomach, all the Evo shield stuff, the towel in the back pocket, we're probably doing too much.
For sure.
But you want your best players to feel the best when they're out there. So whatever makes them feel good.
For sure. Do you have a favorite sports or video game? Any sport. Doesn't have to be baseball.
NCAA basketball 2009. I'm probably dating myself here.
Is that like, who's on the cover? Is that like Blake Griffin? Ooh, that's a good one though. That's fire. Oklahoma.
That's a big one, and definitely Slugfest, like 2003 with Sammy Sosa on the cover.
Ooh, another good one. That's a classic. All right, I thought this would be a fun one. If you yourself had a year of eligibility left and you were looking to transfer to MSOE, and you had to write up the scouting report on yourself as a player, what do you think that scouting report would say? What do you think your pros and cons were as a college athlete?
Oh God. Pros, I was uber competitive, and I definitely wore my emotions on my sleeve. My old coach can tell you that, and that's probably on the con side. Very emotional. I loved all the big moments, and usually thrived in those, but that was also a big kudos to my coaches and my teammates that really believed in me and putting me in those situations. So, and I just want the ball in any situation. That was how I was. So if I had a year of eligibility right now, I'd quit and go play right now. So.
Love to hear that. Love to hear that. I'm sure your players do too. Are you a clipboard and stats guy or just a game feel guy?
I think game feel over clipboard and stats. I think stats allow you to get a pretty good picture of what's going on, but then there's sometimes, actually, this is actually probably going to be counterintuitive to what I just said, but like there's some stats that I don't think we pay attention to enough that don't clearly depict the whole picture, right? So like you got to have some feel, but then stats kind of make it a whole picture for you to when you write that lineup, right? So
sure.
Not everything shows up in a game when you're watching.
For sure. Let's go back to the depth that we addressed earlier. Talk to me a little bit about this freshman class, because I didn't quite realize it until I was actually on the website scrolling through your roster today. That's a lot. That's a lot of guys. How does that change things for you, having that much depth? And I mean, just that many more guys that you're kind of hurting, if you will.
It's very, very different than last year. We had 31 healthy guys for the most part last year. Right now we're going into the season with 44. I think we brought in something like 23 or 24 freshmen. And the reason being was, we came into this kind of blind last year. We didn't return really anybody outside of Cali and Bosque. So we wanted to elevate the talent and the bar right away, so we recruited as such. And they've been great. They're still learning how to work hard and what it takes to play in this program, which is always what freshman year is about. I think our older guys have done a phenomenal job of bringing those guys along, and those guys have responded well to being coached hard and being pushed by their teammates. So we got an extremely uber talented group that's making it harder for me to write a lineup, right? Mm-hmm. But it also makes it a lot easier. I mean, you saw it last year in the regional championship. Our starting shortstop went out right away, and we were kind of thin. And this year we don't feel that way. So it allows us to kind of take a little bit of a breather in regards to, if an injury happens or something. I think we're pretty confident in who can step up.
For sure. It's a good problem to have, having too much depth. Has it been harder to get the freshmen, get them used to playing college baseball, or just get them used to college life in general?
Definitely college life in general. I think the other day I did something similar, another podcast for a travel organization, just talking about what our freshmen kind of go through, and it's a lot, right? I tell every kid this on the recruiting visits: if you don't love it, you're not going to last in college baseball. It's like a full-time job, and we're not asking any less of our guys, freshmen to seniors, just because they're at a high academic school. I mean, our guys wake up between 7 and 8 o'clock, got to eat breakfast, they go to class, they have lifting, they've got fielding or hitting throughout the day, and then they've got studying, tests, exams, office hours, all this stuff. So it's a lot to adjust to. I think that first semester is always the hardest, but our guys have done a really good job of kind of reeling it in and getting themselves under a system and a routine.
For sure. And on the flip side of that coin, talk to me about the class of seniors you have coming back this year. Bounce. You got 4 arms, 4 position players. Talk to me about the leadership you've seen from that group in your 2 years here.
Yeah, on the position player side, AJ Lay, Skolmar, Mayberry. You're going to have to remind me the 4th here. I always draw a blank, but those are 3 guys.
I'm working on it. Yeah, they put me on the spot now.
Those are 3 guys that come off the top of the head right away. They've been phenomenal. They've been phenomenal in bringing on these older guys or younger guys and kind of showing them the ropes and making sure they understand, like, a conference tournament is not what you're brought here for. We want to win a World Series, and we continue to talk about it in that manner. Mm-hmm. So they've been phenomenal. And then on the pitching side, you've got Luke, Agam, couple other guys. Morty redshirted this year, so he's technically not a senior.
That's been a point of debate in sports information.
Yeah.
We haven't been sure what the status of Morty is, but glad to hear he's coming back.
He'll be a redshirt. Yeah, unfortunately I had surgery, but on the pitching side, those guys have also been great in bringing these younger guys on. I think the leadership from our sophomores all the way up to our seniors has been phenomenal. Our guys we have player coaches, we like to say, and they do help out a lot with our younger guys, which has been great to see.
For sure. And speaking of that sophomore class, that was a big crop of production you got from that group as freshmen last year. Guys like Caleb Martin got innings out of him, JJ, Charlie Kloss. What's the expectation to avoid that sophomore slump, if you will, going into year 2? How do they stay as productive as they were and get better next season?
They got to continue to push themselves. They can't be complacent, and I think that was not even something we had to really worry about because they saw the level of talent that was brought in by these freshmen, and there was competition right away, and they knew they had to work no different than they did last year to play as freshmen. So it kind of worked itself out, and those guys handled it phenomenally, and they're doing a great job. Charlie, I don't think anything phases Charlie. He's always smiling. He's always having a good time, and I love coaching him. He's got the best attitude towards everything, extremely coachable. So I'm expecting a tremendous year out of him, and same with JJ. I think JJ, regardless if he's hitting or pitching, he's going to have a really big impact for us on both sides of the ball. So we're excited about those guys.
Alrighty, Coach. Just a few more random questions before I let you go here. If you're making a player in a video game and you can only choose between 99 contact and 99 power, which one are you picking?
In today's day and age, power gets you to play a lot longer, unfortunately. So I'm going probably power. Home runs are more fun.
Speaking of home runs, if you crank a long bomb here, slow trot or are you hustling around the bases? What are you doing? As a pitcher, I kind of feel like I know where this is going, but
as I said, I'm a fiery guy. I'm competitive. I'm not afraid to show the emotion, so I'm probably a bat flip and long trot around the bases kind of guy.
For sure. Love to hear that. As a coach, is it better to coach in a walk-off win, close game scenario, or is it better to coach a blowout?
We just had this conversation with the team. It's obviously more relaxing to coach in a blowout, but I really enjoy the pressure and all the emotions, anxiety that comes with a close game and a walk-off, so I would take that.
For sure. Tying into that, do you prefer the dugout to be business-like, dialed in, or do you want it to be a little bit looser, a little more, laid back? I know that's a fine line to walk.
That's a fine line. We're definitely business-like in the sense of we've got a saying, you can cheer on our guys. We're only talking to our guys. We can be as loud as we want as long as it's talking to our own players. We never talk to the other team or disrespect the other team, so that's kind of where we draw the line there. But we talked about it a lot this year with this team. I think that made us extremely special last year. We had an unbelievable dugout. Every single guy was bought in. I bring up Quinn Zills because he was a riot in the dugout, and I talk to him all the time. He's one of the best teammates I've seen in college baseball, and he just keeps those boys energetic and dancing all the time in the dugout. Sometimes I got to tell them to dance in the dugout, not outside the dugout.
That's you're not just blowing smoke when you say we focus on us and not talk about the other team, because I can go back to, I think, the first game we had at home where I was working. I think the other team had a pitching change, and I won't say who, but whoever was in charge of the music started playing like the circus clown car music, and you were not a fan of that. And in bygone eras, that would have been the norm, but you very quickly put the kibosh on that, and I respect that. That's a pro move.
Yeah, it's all about respect, so.
For sure. All right, just a couple more here. Yay or nay to superstitions, and do you have any yourself?
Yay, absolutely. I'm very, very superstitious.
Okay, are you willing to share any?
I don't believe in changing routines that work. Once you find something that works, you're having success on the mound or something, you're doing the same thing. I think you can ask my teammates that I played with in college. I was kind of crazy. As soon as my coach would tell me to get hot, now he was also a little crazy. He would throw me in a game after 3 warm-up pitches, but I would crack open an energy drink or a Bang and shotgun it as quick as I could, or cleat it as quick as I could, and I did that every single outing my senior year, no matter where we were at. So,
dang, okay. Dedicated.
Yeah, I did that no matter what.
Did you ever get into like I don't want to minimize and say like OCD level, but where it was like, okay, after a pitch, it's like 4 steps around to the right side of the mound. Did you ever get into that crazy level of superstition?
I particularly could not focus enough to get to that point.
Fair enough.
My mind was racing a million miles an hour. I was focused on just throwing the ball as hard as I could for a strike, and would forget to do a lot of the nuances that we practice. Yeah, no, I never got to that point on the mountain, no.
For sure. All right, last one, Coach, before I get you out of here. 2 years into your stint at the program, if you had to coach all juniors and seniors or all freshmen and sophomores, what would you pick?
That's a tough question. Okay, I'm going to throw a question back at you. Do the seniors and juniors have experience?
Yes.
Because last year we had seniors and juniors that hadn't played, so they were just as much freshmen as the other guys.
I would say yes, the experience.
Okay, experience.
Yeah, a season at least.
I'll take the older guys.
And can you give me the why behind that?
I don't think anything beats experience. I think the feeling our guys got after our season ended last year, and also the feelings they got of dogpiling on our own field during the conference championship and all the hype moments and the low moments like Florida. You can't replicate that in a practice for guys that haven't experienced it yet. So I think that's really big to make sure that our guys understand that, and that's why I would take the older guys.
For sure.
So, and I think that's, the Region 8 preview came out yesterday for our region, and we got a lot of really kind words said about us, and they mentioned World Series and MSUE in the same 2 sentences. And
who would have thought?
That's huge. Again, we tell our guys all the time, it's only crazy until it happens, right? And people start to catch on and believe it, and that's why from day one we've talked about it. People talk about like winning the conference the first year. I was fortunate enough to play somewhere we won it every year, and that was the bare minimum, and that's the same thing here. The bare minimum is a conference championship, and the ultimate goal is to win it all every single year, and we believe we can do that here. So.
For sure, Coach. That's the realest answer I've gotten in a while. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Wishing you and the whole team good luck as you kick off the season next week.
Thanks, Greg.
Man.
Appreciate you, man.